Hey everyone, Hybrid Tour Reviews here. So, I promised this video was going to start out as a Comic Con vlog where I was going to follow it up with a recap video. I didn't take a ton of footage, a ton of things went wrong, and this Buffalo, Nickel City Comic Con vlog is turning into a Nickel City Con rant. I tell you, it was not a pleasant time. Yeah, just not the best con. So anyway, I'm gonna narrate over what happened a good bit, and we'll kind of just come in for a recap at the end. We headed out Saturday morning at about 7 a.m. It's a good 2.5 hour drive to get up to Buffalo from where we are in Northeast Ohio. We got to Pennsylvania pretty quick. I brought my Aunt Amanda along with me. There she is. But I gotta say, it is a nice drive. You see a lot of country stuff. You get nice and relaxed and get ready to, go have a fun day at Comic Con. It's what you're supposed to have, right? Um, but anyway, there's a cool truck stop when you get about a half hour from Buffalo where they've got these bridges that you can walk across the road, and so you get some cool B-roll footage like that with the cars under you. There's the first view of Buffalo. I gotta say, it's actually a really nice city to drive in. The traffic's slow. I mean, just as a pedestrian, it was neat. There you see our line, and just to elaborate, the red dot's the convention center, and as far as I could tell, the line went down to the corner, around to the next corner, and then behind some buildings, an indefinite way beyond there. Now, here is where the bullshit started. When we were in that line, we were at the first corner, so all I could see was, the next corner, and then however far past it went. When we get there, it's at 9:30. Doors open at 10. Something worth noting is that we didn't pre-purchase our tickets. My aunt was unsure if she was going to make it, and for $45 of a zero refund policy, we figured we'd wait. And by the time of the event, it was just buy it at the door. There's no online ticket sales, which is fine. It's whatever. And so we get there. There's no one outside guiding people where to go, but there's a line of people from the front door going down to the corner of the block. And there's no one else outside, and there's no other lines. It's literally the only line there. So we just go get in the line, because why would you not? So we get in this line, half hour before open. It's at the corner. By the time 10 came, it was down to the next corner and wrapped around there. By 10:30, we get to the door, and the security people check my bag and then ask for our tickets, to which we tell them we need to pick them up at the door, because there's no booth outside either. It's all inside. And they're like, oh, you have to go wait in that line then. And they point us to a line of like 20 people, which great, like 20 people line, that should be quick. And we go get in this line, and the line doesn't move at all. We're just sitting there as more and more people go in. And then the security guy comes out. And let me tell you, this guy was an asshole. He was just talking down to us like we were like the lowliest peasants he's ever met. I tried to sneak a photo of him throughout the event, and just wasn't very lucky, but I'm just going to call him Chief Fuckboy of Security, because I just kept seeing him throughout the day. And he's like a dude that like only does arm day, so like his legs are skinny, but he's like jacked, and he's like a white dude with a Drake beard, and he's just wearing like a ball cap, and I don't know, the dude's just an asshole. But he tells us that, well, let me just show you Chief Fuckboy of Security here, because I couldn't get a photo of him, so I actually had a police sketch artist here help me make this up. I'm just kidding, I made that up on my own, but I feel it's a pretty accurate representation of the guy. So anyway, we ask him, like, when's this line gonna start moving? And he's like, once everyone else is in. And I was like, why once everyone else is in? We got here, like, way before open. And he's like, no, they got here first. And I was like, no, I went through the entire line and got to the door. I was here before literally everyone who's in the line now. I got here a half hour before open. And he's like, they pre-bought online? They were here first. Which, like, no, they fucking weren't. Like, they just weren't here first. Like, I physically was here first. And you can tell me that pre-admission gets first access. That's fine, but don't tell me that they were here first. Don't talk to me like I'm dumb. Like, I was here first. I know I was here first. I got here a half hour before open. There are still people at 45 minutes after open getting in the line. Don't tell me that they were here first. They were not here first. I know when I got here. So the dude's just talking down to us. And we were like, well, when are they going to sell us the tickets? Well, once you go in. Well, why don't they sell them now? That way we can just go in when you finally decide that we're allowed to go in. Oh, it'll be quick. And then he like got away from us like as quick as possible. Dude was just being an asshole. So we sit there in line and wait and wait. It's a little after 11. And I step over to look, and the line is still down, wrapped around the first corner, going however far down it was going from there. I never got to see the far end. And I go back to my aunt, and I was like, look, we're going to stand here for hours at this rate, or we can go to this hotel bar across the street. And she was like, yeah, let's do that. So we went over to the bar, and a really nice bar. It's in the Curtis Hotel across the street from the convention center, across the street and down near the first corner of the line. And had a cool bartender, Gary, super nice guy. One of the few people to out celebrity me when talking about people we've met. He's worked for some neat people, and we stayed there until about 12:45 because that was when the last of the people in the big line outside went inside. So from there we go. We're finally permitted, us third world citizens who didn't pre-purchase a ticket online, we're finally permitted to give our somewhat less than legal tender, apparently, American money to the ticket people. And we get our tickets. We get in the door. We're in the convention center shortly after 1 o'clock. Mind you, doors open at 10. If you didn't pre-purchase, you lowly peasants, you have to wait until 1 o'clock to go in, apparently. And the event closes at 6, so I've lost 3 of my 8 hours. We were also planning, my plan was to get in at basically open, like 10-ish, knock out my autographs, be out of there hopefully by noon, go up to Niagara Falls, because you're a half hour from Niagara Falls at that point, and then, like get home at like 5 p.m. Well, it's 1 p.m., we ain't even started yet. So anyway, we're finally moved up in the world enough to be permitted to buy Comic-Con tickets. First line I got in from there is Michael Rookers. Really nice guy. I've met him before, but my autograph sucked, so I got a redo. Turned out really nice, as you can see here. Nice gold paint pen. That's the trick with the gold paint pens. From there, we hopped over in Dan Fogler's line, and he was at a photo op till 2. It was like 1:45. He didn't really get back till 2:10, but it was okay. He signed my Funko Pop. He was really nice, kind of shy. I'd never heard of him being at a con before, but he talked a little bit, and got a nice photo with him, and just can't speak highly enough. He's a really nice guy. From there, we walked around. We saw the standard swords and whatever. This guy had a box of Black Series with the Ollie stickers peeled off like shittily, and then they were marked for $20 each, so that sucked. And they also put all these tables in the intersections to really crowd people up. That was a less crowded one, but really messed with the walkways. From there, we dipped at about 2:30. Buffalo has some really neat architecture, so I will say that the best part of going to Nickel City Con is leaving the Comic Con and then seeing some really nice stuff outside, because the Comic Con sucks. It just wasn't that great a time, I'm going to be honest. But they had some neat stuff to look at. From there, we ended up going up to Goat Island at Niagara Falls for just a little bit, and then got on the road back, got into Pennsylvania pretty quick. Couldn't get home quick enough. Got home at about 8. Plan was 5, but whatever. Just ruined my day, Nickel City Con. And, yeah. From there, we roll back into the motherland, back into safety, and I'll take it live from here. What are you going to do? I'm going to be honest. I've been to a ton of Comic-Cons. I started going in 2017. Started slow. 2 or 3 a year. It's escalated to about 5 or 6 now. I've collected a lot of autographs. I've been to a lot of different places doing this, and while every con definitely has a point or two that lowers the fun value, just this one just started off awful, and the rest of the event, I don't want to say mediocre. It wasn't special. There wasn't anything to draw. As far as the vendors go, some of these bigger cons, they get a lot of vendors where they all have the same stuff. You can tell that they have a store online or something, and it's just like every booth had the same Funko Pops that you can go to Walmart or Target or are just dropping in new waves now, so a collectible shop would be getting. There was no one with, that bin of 10-year-old Marvel Legends that, he's had in his, attic for a little bit and he's trying just to clear out. There's no one with, like, any deals or anything. It was all very commercialized. And what is it with every Comic-Con having a fudge booth? Like, have you noticed that? Like, I'm not knocking. Like, I like fudge, but, like, just, like, there should be a relevance to a topic, And so it's whatever. I mean, the guy at the fudge booth was nice. But I've just noticed, like, every con has that. Like, have I not been told something? But, I mean, it was just, I did one lap of the vendor floor, and I was like, I don't care about any of this stuff. Like, I'm just going. And, I mean, I collect stuff. You've seen my collection videos. collect a lot of stuff. I have more stuff than anyone should have. And, like, I just... If I do, like, one lap around your vendor floor and I'm like, meh, I feel like it should be a problem. Not to mean the world revolves around me, but what are you going to do? I can't say that the con was a failure, because at the end of the day, I did end up with my 2 autographs that I went for. And the only things I was going for was those 2 autographs, the picture with Dan Fogler. I'd met Michael Rooker before, and I have a good photo with him, so I just didn't bother doing another photo. I will say Rooker is always, like, a great class act. I'm in his line, and he'd already done his, like, photo op for the day, and he wasn't doing selfies. And, like, there were, and, like, they, I guess, didn't advertise it very well, so, like, there are, like, people getting in his line hoping he'd have selfies, being told no, but also being told that it's too late to go get a photo with him for the day. And whenever it was kids, I noticed, you know, he'd be like, hey, you know, there's no photos at the table. Hey, kiddo, come over here, stand next to me. And he'd look up at Mom, and he'd be like, there's no table photos, Mom, while they're standing next to each other smiling. There's no table photos, Mom. And he's, like, allowing it to happen. And, like, I can't, you know, I just, it's nice seeing him just being super nice. He's a very outgoing, nice guy. Both of these autographs were done using the same paint pen, and it's a paint pen that I really like. It's a nice gold metallic, and just to share there, it is a Deco Color Premium. You get it in a pack at Walmart. It's like a black cardboard with a clear bubble with this inside of it kind of pack. They average about $3-4. They have a silver. I've never tried the silver. The silver always seems to be like a fatter chisel tip. There's usually 2 golds. This one is kind of like a normal tip, and then there's like a big chisel tip one. Don't really like chisel tips for autographs. They're just kind of chunky. I've never seen the silver and the skinny one. I've always wanted to try it. I bet it's probably just as nice. There's a nice chrome finish on the gold. But yeah, just right off rip, Chief Fuckboy of Security just wrecked it. Just, he set the mood for the day. And I don't know. I've never been to a con that had a policy like that. I've never been to a con where if you were going to buy tickets at the door, and don't get me wrong, I usually buy online. The benefit to buying online, the only benefit to buying online, if you're buying an average ticket that doesn't have like a VIP line hopper, because if it was a VIP line hopper, like, yeah, absolutely, go ahead of me, you paid for that. But like, the only benefit of buying online should be if you, or it should be for like preventing sellout of tickets. If they were approaching fire code and they're allowed 1,500 people in the building, they know they can only sell 1,500 tickets. So if you sell 1,500 online, then yeah, just don't sell at the door. But any con I've ever been to, I mean, even Steel City Con, you guys know I hate Steel City Con. Steel City Con, if you go there and you want to buy your ticket day of, you walk in the parking lot, you have the line going to the front door of the building, and next to the front door of the building is the ticket booth. You just go to the ticket booth, buy your wristband, and then get in the line and go in. I mean, every con everywhere is like that. That is such an out there, just dumbass policy. And it just, like, why am, like, I get it, like, hey, you know, maybe you look a little more prepared if you buy online. Why am I being treated like some, like, third-class citizen, you know, for wanting to just buy it at the door? Like, it's just what it is. I guess I'm going to blame my aunt, because she wasn't sure. Well, she was unwell earlier in the week, so that's why we didn't know. And, you know, you can either treat me like a third-class citizen for buying at the door, or you can offer a refund policy in case I can't make it, you know. And most cons don't offer a refund policy on tickets, and honestly, I'm not keen on that practice at all. I think if something comes up, you should just offer a refund policy. It's not like you're not selling 1,000 other tickets. But that's another argument. That's not just for this convention. That's for many conventions. But yeah, I mean, Nickel City Con, it just... There's nothing special about it. It's not any better than it's not any better than Fan Expo Cleveland or GalaxyCon Columbus. It's honestly, I can't even say it's better than Pensacon, and you know I've had a lot of issues there. Hell, I hate Steel City Con. Steel City Con's consistently better than this one. So yeah, I think parts of it are just maybe I'm just not a good fit for that con. Am I going back? I don't think so. honestly, as big a smear piece as this is turning into, it wouldn't shock me if they're just like, well, then you're just not welcome back. But it's what it is. But yeah, I just didn't have a great time, and the security guy was just a tool and just kind of pissed us off right off rip. And I spent more time in the bar across the street than actually in the Comic-Con. Like, just let me in at 10 so I can leave at 11 after getting my 2 autographs. But 2 cents said, not a great time. Not looking to go back. Like, they got to pull a special celebrity to have me even interested at this point. To be honest with you, I was a little up in the air with Michael Rooker just because I was like, yeah, he goes to like a lot. When they got Dan Fogler, like, they got me. They hooked me there. Like, if they pull a good Harry Potter actor or something, and if this doesn't get me on some sort of list with them, then yeah, we'll talk. But yeah, Nickel City Con, not a great time. Did you end up going? I didn't have anyone approach me. I posted on social media, but I also wasn't allowed in the door for the majority of the event, so that could have been the issue too if you were there looking for me. I'm going to go work on other videos. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, have a good one. Bye.